It is late September in the Texas Hill Country. The heat has broken. A breeze moves through an open-plan barndominium, and the canopy overhead is not a roof. It is 12 live oak branches, some older than the state itself, threading through the building like the house grew up around the trees rather than the other way around. No air conditioning is running. It is 72 degrees inside. The family who built this home are sitting on the porch with coffee, and they will tell you, straight-faced, that they have not wanted to leave this house for 4 years. Here is the wild part. They were never supposed to build it. Most people buy land, clear the lot, and pour a slab where the trees used to be. But there's a different kind of builder. The kind who walks the land for 8 months before drawing a single line, who reroutes an entire foundation to save a root system, who asks, how do you want to feel when you walk to the front door? Instead of, how many square feet do you need? This is what happens when the building gives way to the land, and the math still works. The origin. Tom and Diane are not architects or builders. Tom spent 31 years as a civil engineer for the county, roads, drainage, infrastructure. Diane taught middle school science. When they bought 32 acres of live oak and limestone outside Fredericksburg, the plan was simple. Clear a build pad, pour conventional slab, and drop a 2-bedroom retirement home on top. They had a builder in Austin and a set of stock plans. Then Tom did something that changed everything. He spent every Saturday morning for 8 months just sitting on that land, not measuring, not planning, just watching where the sun hit at 7 in the morning versus 4 in the afternoon, where the deer bedded down, how the wind moved through the oaks. After 8 months, he told Diane, we cannot cut these trees. We have to build around them, every single one. The builder in Austin said it was impossible. The root zones would crack any slab within 10 years. The steel frame would cost double. Tom did not argue. He found a different builder. The builder. Ben Wheeler runs a small steel frame outfit out of Kerrville. 5 guys, 3 welding rigs, and a reputation for taking the jobs nobody else wants. When Tom showed him the 12 marked oaks, Ben did not say it was impossible. He walked the property for 45 minutes and came back with one question. How close to the trunks do you want it to get? That question is the difference between a contractor and a craftsman. A contractor tells you what cannot be done. A craftsman figures out how close he can get. Ben designed the entire foundation as 16 disconnected floating slabs, each one navigating between root zones like puzzle pieces. The steel frame bridges them. Nothing touches a tree within 8 feet of the drip line. Here is the cruel irony about conventional builds. A mature live oak drinks 60 gallons of water a day through roots that extend 3 times the canopy width. Pave over that, and the tree suffocates within 5 years. The same builders who clear-cut a lot to simplify the poor are the ones who charge you $15,000 for landscaping after everything dies. The Martins avoided both. Here is where it gets interesting. The Martins were not originally looking at barndominiums. Tom had spent 6 months researching stick-built retirement homes. 2x6 framing, hardy plank siding, asphalt shingles. He had a quote for $280,000, not including land. Then Diane sent him a YouTube video at 2 in the morning. A barndominium tour from Georgia. A steel frame home built around a single pecan tree. Tom watched it 3 times. The next morning he called Ben Wheeler. This is a seduction moment. Once Tom understood that a clear span steel frame eliminates interior load-bearing walls, that the building can bend around obstacles instead of fighting them. The conventional plans went in the trash. The steel shell, 40 by 90 feet, 16-foot eave height, cost $140,000 erected, about $51 per square foot for a weathertight shell. The conventional bill was coming in at $112 per square foot for framing and sheathing alone. The barndominium saved them $47,000 before the interior even started. The interior, walk through the front door, and the first thing you notice is the light. Tom and Ben oriented the ridge line east to west. The entire south-facing wall is glass, triple-pane, low-E, argon-filled. It cost $23,000. Tom will tell you it is the best money they spent. The great room is 40 feet wide, open to the full 16-foot ceiling. The steel frame, exposed, painted matte charcoal, is the only ornament. No drywall, no crown molding, no trim. The building is honest about what it is. The polished concrete floor is not just a floor, it is a thermal battery, stained deep walnut, sitting on 2 inches of rigid foam insulation. During the day, the south-facing glass dumps solar gain into that slab. At night, the slab releases it back into the room. Diane says they ran the mini splits 14 days last winter. Their January electric bill was $112. The neighbors with conventional build of similar square footage paid $440. And the trees are not all outside. 6 of the 12 oaks sit inside exterior courtyards cut into the floor plan. Private green pockets a great room opens onto through sliding glass doors. Each courtyard holds 2 oaks, native grasses, and limestone seating carved from stone pulled during excavation. The building does not separate you from the land. It brings the land inside with you. The design philosophy. The kitchen sits at the center of the great room, a 12-foot island topped with leather granite quarried 40 miles from property. The cabinets are rift-sawn white oak. Diane chose them because the grain reminds her of the live oaks outside. Everything in this house echoes something outside of it. This is where the design question lives. How do you want to move around your space? The Martins answered it without ever hearing the question. The kitchen does not face a television wall. It faces the largest courtyard, the one with the 2 oldest oaks, both over 150 years old. Diane wanted to look at trees while she cooked, not a screen. Trees. The dining table is a single slab of mesquite, 12 feet long, made by a woodworker in Luckenbach. The chairs do not match. Diane found them one at a time at estate sales across the hill country over 3 years. Every object in this house has a name attached to it, the honest tradeoffs. Now here is the honest truth. Building around 12 mature trees is not free. The foundation costs $43,000 more than a single pour slab, 16 separate form setups, 16 separate inspections, 16 separate concrete deliveries. The structural engineering alone added $8,000. The courtyards create 4 roof penetrations that need resealing every 5 to 7 years. Budget $2,000 each time. And the trees drop leaves constantly. The courtyard drains need cleaning monthly. Diane does it herself. She says it takes 45 minutes and is worth every second. But this house requires you. The bedroom plus the trees. The primary bedroom sits at the east end. Tom originally had it on the north wall. No morning sun. Then Ben pointed out that oak number 7, a massive live oak with 14-foot trunk circumference, would be invisible from the bedroom on the original plan. Tom flipped the entire layout. The headboard now sits directly under a floor-to-ceiling window that frames oak number 7 perfectly. Diane says it is the first thing she sees every morning. That tree has been standing longer than any human alive has been on this continent. It makes everything else feel small. In a good way, the landscape relationship. Outside, the building disappears into the oak canopy. From the county road 200 yards away, you cannot see it. Ben sighted the structure at the lowest elevation point, the opposite of what most builders do. Most build high, so the house commands a view. The Martins built low, so the house disappears into the trees. The single slope shed roof drains entirely into a 25,000-gallon rainwater catchment tank buried on the north side. That tank feeds the courtyard irrigation and Diane's vegetable garden. In a region where water restrictions run from June through September, they have not paid for landscape water since move-in day. The building gives way. It does not demand a land give way to it. Craftsmanship. Every material in this house was sourced within a 2-hour drive of the property. The steel frame was fabricated by a welder in Marble Falls named Hector, who signed the inside of the main ridge beam before they stood up. The limestone seating came from a quarry in Lampasas. The mesquite dining slab came from a tree that fell in the 2021 winter storm, cured for 2 years before it was touched. Tom wanted the house to feel like it belonged to this specific piece of land, not like it could have been built anywhere. When you walk through it, you feel that. It smells like limestone dust and oak pollen and Texas sun. The last time I spoke to Diane, she told me something I cannot stop thinking about. She said, when you walk to the front door, the ceiling drops slightly, from 16 feet down to maybe 12, and then it opens back up in the great room. Ben called it compression, and release. I call it a hug. The house hugs you when you come home. Tom walked every square foot of the building the day they moved in, touched every steel column, then sat under oak number 4, the oldest one, for 2 hours. Diane found him at sunset and asked what he was doing. He said, "I am waiting to leave, because I keep thinking I should want to go somewhere, and I do not. These design is not for everyone. If you are building on a bare lot with no trees worth saving and a builder executing a standard plan, you can ignore most of this. But if your land has a soul, if you have trees older than your grandparents, then this is what is possible when the building gives way instead of demanding the land give way to the building." Drop a comment. Which design decision lands hardest? The floating slabs that save the root systems, the full south-facing glass wall, the courtyard concept, or the single slope roof feeding the rain catchment? I want to know. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe. More builds like this are already in production. Click the video on screen right now for the next one.